Welcome back. You're still watching Network Africa right here on Channels Television. Now, just before we check in to see what's happening in the world's newest country, let's look at happenings right here at home in Nigeria. Members of the House of Representatives are drawing up what they've described as a new roadmap to guide them in their legislative functions. The Speaker of the House, Yakubu Dogara, says the document will meet the expectations of the public. The lawmakers are currently at a retreat organized in partnership with some development partners ahead of their resumption next week. Our correspondent, Larry Lasisi, reports.
The 8th House of Representatives at its first session. The House is yet to set out clear programs for itself and commence legislative work. In a bid to outline a clear direction for the House, the Speaker of the House of Representatives has convened a retreat to develop a legislative agenda for the 8th House of Representatives. Some of the development partners at the retreat outlined the importance of the event.
We will, over the next 2 days, look at the several issues related to the functions of the National Assembly, the structure of the National Assembly, the workings of the committees of the National Assembly, the work of members in the committees and as legislators, the plenary sessions of the House, the priorities of the 8th Assembly and what bills the 8th Assembly would like to see achieved and passed.
We work with the National Assembly because we understand that the National Assembly sits at the heart of a strong democracy. Its important representative, legislative and oversight functions help ensure a responsive and accountable government.
Declaring the retreat open, the Speaker said the House must deliver on the promises made to Nigerians.
Your task is straightforward: to construct a legislative roadmap, a legislative compass for the 8th House of Representatives. The document you will produce at the end of your assignment is expected to guide the actions of the House for the next 4 years.
Some of the lawmakers who are part of the drafting committee say the House will work to ensure the agenda is implemented.
Whatever you want to implement in this world, you need a very, very conducive environment. And I know that with President Muhammadu Buhari, you have a conducive environment for the 8th Assembly to implement its legislative agenda.
We can pick on just very few, of the agenda and then try as much as possible to see how we can improve so that there will be positive change, because those that have elected us, that is the electorate, are there outside yearning for this change.
But what we are here to do today is to further the destination, to push the goalpost further. And then as we move on, I believe that even the 9th Assembly will also push it further.
The proposed agenda put together by this forum will be presented to the House in plenary for discussion and adoption. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Now, to tackle the humanitarian impact of the relentlessly deteriorating crisis in South Sudan, the European Union and the United Nations have announced that more than $275 million has been pledged in support of the victims in the country and the wider region. The pledges were made during a high-level conference in Geneva organized by the European Union and the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, that's OCHA, on the humanitarian situation in the world's newest country. According to OCHA, the humanitarian crisis in South Sudan has deteriorated relentlessly since violence broke out at the end of 2013. More than 2 million people have been internally displaced and are vulnerable to attack and gender-based violence and also forced recruitment to armed groups. An estimated 4.6 million people are facing severe food insecurity, and the start of the rainy season is increasing people's risk of waterborne diseases and malaria. Now, just to news concerning Sudan, which is nearby, the United Nations has denied the media reports that Sudanese troops held South African peacekeepers in Darfur hostage, so the Sudanese president Omar al-Bashir could leave South Africa and avoid being arrested to face genocide charges. President Bashir, who was due to attend the just concluded summit in Johannesburg, left South Africa on Monday in defiance of a Pretoria court, and that later said that he should have been arrested to face charges at the Hague-based International Criminal Court.
Currently has 802 members of an infantry battalion deployed in Kutum, Malha, and Melit team sites in North Darfur. We can confirm that the mission's South African troops were not held hostage or under any threat, as was reported in the media. The information we have from UNAMID is that they were not under any threat, and so that is where we stand. In terms of operational details, obviously the troops on the ground may have to go through maneuvers at any point in time, but in terms of whether they faced a threat or were surrounded or held hostage, no, they were not.
In a moment, the former UN Deputy Secretary General hopes to be the first female president in Tanzania. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.